Sabalenka, Swiatek set unmissable Grand Slam semifinal clash. A matchup 1 point away from being realized at Australian Open 2025 is now finally set to take center stage in Paris. World number 1 Aryna Sabalenka will face three-time defending champion Iga Swiatek for a place in the Roland Garros final after both passed tough quarterfinal tests in straight sets on Tuesday. It will be the first Grand Slam meeting between the rivals since the 2022 US Open semifinals almost 3 years ago, their one and only meeting at a major tournament until now. It feels like the first since they have become the Big Two of the WTA, said Catherine Whitaker on the tennis podcast. I know it has, at times, been a Big Three, maybe even a Big Four, but let's face it, in terms of the last 3 years of WTA tennis, it's been those two. Those have been the mainstays at the top, and they have been dancing around one another at the Grand Slams, added podcast co-host David Law. It feels just about the ultimate, really, in the sport. Because not only is it the two of them, and them having been the dominant players, but it's Swiatek's territory, and it's Sabalenka's world number 1 ranking and feeling of dominance. Those two colossal forces are colliding, and that is mouth-watering. Sabatek duopoly. Before the tournament, we reported on the Jannik Sinner-Carlos Alcaraz duopoly at the majors. The Italian and the Spaniard have collected the past 5 slam titles between them and remain on track as world number 1 and number 2 to clash in their first major final. Sabalenka and Swiatek are the women's equivalent. Among active women's players, they own the best winning percentages at Grand Slam tournaments, and no women this decade have reached more major semifinals than either of them. Since Ash Barty's retirement just weeks after her Australian Open 2022 triumph, Swiatek and Sabalenka combined to win 7 of the next 11 majors. Yet they met just once at a Grand Slam event in that span. Swiatek recovered from 4-2 down in the third set of that epic 2022 US Open semifinal and went on to win the trophy. Beginning with Roland Garros in 2023, Swiatek and Sabalenka were seeded number 1 and number 2 at 7 of the next 8 majors, with Wimbledon last year the only outlier. Those seedings set the stage for Grand Slam final meetings, and twice they came within 1 point of making them happen. Sabalenka led Karolina Muchova 5-2 in the third set of their 2023 Roland Garros semifinal, earning match point in the 8th game before the Czech served her way out of trouble and rebounded to win. At AO 2025, Swiatek held a match point against Keys deep in the third set of their semifinal, only for Keys to escape and subsequently stun Sabalenka in the final. This meeting at the semifinal stage is due to Swiatek's seeding. She recently dropped from world number 2 to number 5 after failing to defend her Madrid and Rome titles, entering Roland Garros seeded 5th. Sabalenka, the irresistible force. As Swiatek has fallen in the rankings, Sabalenka has become an increasingly dominant world number 1. In the WTA Live rankings, she's more than 4,500 points ahead of second-ranked Coco Gauff, and this season has already won 3 titles from 6 finals, the most recent on clay in Madrid. She's been equally imperious at Grand Slam level, not losing before the quarterfinal stage for 3 years. That's crazy stats. Sabalenka smiled when told she had contested her 10th consecutive major quarterfinal against Jing Qinwen, which she won 7-6, 6-3. Honestly, I wasn't really thinking about that. I was really focused on the game. Yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy statistics. Thursday's clash with Swiatek in Paris will be Sabalenka's 11th Grand Slam semifinal, by far the most of any woman this decade. And she can't wait to test herself against the game's best on clay. I love tough challenges, she said. I think this is the matches where you actually improve as a player and where you get much stronger. And I'm always excited to face someone strong, and then someone who can challenge me. I take it as a challenge and I go out there and I fight, and I'm ready to leave everything I have to get the win. Swiatek, the immovable object. Sabalenka might be the game's dominant number 1 and premier force at the majors, but she is yet to break through at Roland Garros. And that's because the tournament is Swiatek's domain. More. Sabalenka, Gauff and company coming for Swiatek's crown. The Pole has won 4 of the past 5 French titles and the past 3 in a row. She last lost at the event in the 2021 quarterfinals to Maria Sakkari. Since then, Swiatek has won 26 consecutive French Open matches, the most recent a 6-1 7-5 win over Alina Svitolina in Tuesday's quarterfinals. "I love tough challenges," she said. "I think this is the matches where you actually improve as a player and where you get much stronger. And I'm always excited to face someone strong, and then someone who can challenge me. I take it as a challenge, and I go out there and I fight, and I'm ready to leave everything I have to get the win." Swiatek, the immovable object. Sabalenka might be the game's dominant number one and premier force of the majors, but she is yet to break through at Roland Garros. And that's because the tournament is Swiatek's domain. The Pole has won 4 of the past 5 French titles and the past 3 in a row. She last lost at the event in the 2021 quarterfinals to Maria Sakkari. Since then, Swiatek has won 26 consecutive French Open matches, the most recent a 6-1 7-5 win over Alina Svitolina in Tuesday's quarterfinals. Hey friends, if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a like. Got a question, opinion, or suggestion? Drop a comment below. I read all of them, and I often feature interesting ones in my next videos. And most importantly, for more exclusive boxing highlights and celebrity news, make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell so you never miss an update. Your support helps us grow and keep bringing you awesome content. See you in the next video. Stay safe and take care.